how did you get around to designing frames?
Really by chance. You know, there's no school. I live in California, I live in Los Angeles, and there aren't any eyewear design schools. So it's not like becoming an architect where you go to architecture school, or you become a fashion designer and you go to fashion design school. We don't have that for eyewear. And my background is very different. I'm actually an eye doctor in the United States. So that's how I got my start. I was in private practice in Manhattan Beach, California, which is a beach community. And we had a very large practice, and part of our practice actually had an optical boutique. And I found myself being more engaged by being in what we call the front of the house with the fashion and the eyewear than I was in the back exam rooms in a dark room seeing patients. So I had an opportunity many years ago to make a career switch and get involved in the design side of things, and that's how I got my start, completely by chance.
What led you to want to design your own brand?
I had my own collection many years ago. It was called Kata Eyewear, and it was based on the name itself, which is Japanese for shape and form. So the shapes and forms came from the environment, it came from nature, it came from motion and movement. So it was a collection that was very aerodynamic.
Right.
But then the company was sold, and then for that period of time I was actually working as creative director for other brands and other companies. But I wanted to finally sort of get back in the game and design a collection that had my own sense of aesthetics under my own name.
What really inspired the whole collection that you have from start until now?
Well, it's really about bringing to market, I think, eyewear that fills a niche in the industry. Eyewear tends to be very classic on one end, or very trendy in terms of color and shape on the other. And there wasn't something more in the middle zone that allowed for both aesthetics, something that someone who has a sense of fashion wants to wear, but also doesn't want the frames themselves to make the statement. They want it to be integrated into their head-to-toe wardrobe. So for me, there was a void in the marketplace, and that was really the inspiration for getting out there and do my own collection. When I wanted to design an eyewear collection, I wanted this to really marry two different aesthetics. And the question is, how do you do that from a technical standpoint? And then I was shopping one day, and I found this antique wooden elm stool that was encased in a block of clear lucite. And I thought, wow, this is brilliant, because here you have something that's very familiar on the inside, but on the outside it's very modern, and so it puts it into a whole new context. And so I thought, well, that was, that's interesting, how to have a way of blending two physically different objects into one. So I took that to the factory to see whether or not they could literally laminate two separate frames, and that's how my frames are made. The inside frame is made as one unit, the outside frame is made as a separate unit, and they're actually laminated together, and that's what allows us to have two different aesthetics.